I, Shalom, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Wahar Rakah Kwadash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in His work. And as always, want to say shalom to the believers, the Akim as well as the Aquat, which would be you brothers along with the sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, I just wanted to go into another quick lesson, pretty much concerning this journey, if you will, which we all have embarked on, from the brothers who have committed to performing the services of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, which comes in the form of teaching His word, as well as you believers alike, those amongst you who actually cleave on those words, you see, and the fact that we all have chosen a certain walk, in a certain path, which develops, this desire to do the things that pleases your power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, okay? And in that event, it's very important to know and understand that you're going to have certain shortcomings. In fact, it was never meant for us to accomplish the feat of perfection here in this flesh, here in this lifetime, and you have to guard against that, idea of becoming perfect, here in this world, okay? Which you can find yourself unknowingly coming up against the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, man. All right? There's a time, reserved, which will be in the kingdom, where we will be able to accomplish the feat of perfection, okay? But until then, we have to understand the conditions of the battle and the fact that it was given us the task and the objective to strive against the flesh, okay? That fight between spirit and flesh, that's something that we have to endure. See? And again, for those of you out there who had this idea of becoming perfect in the flesh, well, not only is that off, that's not the right approach, but furthermore, that's actually coming up against the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. This is a part of the script, man, okay? Matter of fact, let's start off with that in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, and the 20th verse. It says, "For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope." Yeah, let's examine this precept closely, man. Okay, because this says a whole lot, especially in relation to this walk, Again, it says, "For the creature was made subject to vanity." And the creature right here is dealing with each and every individual on the planet Earth, but in particular the elect, okay? We was created subject to vanity. Now, when you go into the word subject, it's a compound word, which means under rule. Okay, sub meaning under. That's where you get the word submerge or submarine. Inject goes back to the word jection, which means rule. Okay? So this word subject translates to under rule. So the scriptures say, for the creature, okay, meaning we, brothers and sisters who was called into this truth, for the creature was made subject under rule, okay, under the rule to vanity. Yeah, when you go into that word vanity, one of the definitions there is perverseness. See? Which, when you go into that word perverse, it means contrary to what's right or good, man. See that? So we was made subject to vanity. See? Meaning, we strive to do the things that pleases Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, yet we fall short. Why? Because we're in the flesh. The Lord created us this way. But there's a method to that, see? And it tells you when you read on, it says not willingly, yeah. It's not as if we are comfortable with this, We wasn't made subject to vanity willingly. It says, but by reason of him, who is this him? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. See? But by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. So that's the method to the madness, if you will. Okay, we was made subject to vanity. We was given these chains of darkness, okay, which are these bodies, so that we might be subject to hope. We are prisoners of hope, okay? And we are locked in these chains of darkness, which are these bodies. You know, it's like this. If you locked up, you can have millions of dollars, man, okay? But if you locked up, you at the mercy of someone else. Even if you have money out there in the free world, you have to depend on somebody to come and bail you out. See that? So that's the situation we find ourselves in, okay? But the point is, you know, we was created and subject to vanity by reason of him, you know, who have subjected the same in hope. Meaning you can't go against the grain, all right? And when you know, try to accomplish that feat of being perfect here in this flesh, then you can actually find yourself fighting or coming up against the will, resisting the will of Yahweh Shah. All right? So there's no way you're going to be perfect here in this lifetime. And it's important to know that, because if not, you can condemn yourself. Matter of fact, let's go there real quick before we get into this lesson. This is our Ecclesiasticus, the 14th chapter. In the second verse, it says, "Blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him." See? Blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him, and who has not fallen from his hope. See, that word hope again, in the Lord. See? So the Lord created us subject to vanity so that we might have hope. You know? Again, the scriptures speak concerning the prisoners of hope, which will be the elect. And right here we read again, "Blessed is he whose conscience have not condemned him." See? And who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. So it's important to understand you're going to go off, man. You can come into this truth and subconsciously bring that Baptist church spirit. And then once you look into that proverbial mirror and see that pretty much you ain't shit, you know, excuse my language. Hey, Yahweh Shah said our righteousness is as filthy rags, you know. So when you find out that you in this flesh, you're going to fall, okay? You're going to do certain things that might not be becoming of a man of the Lord, you see, or convenient. Well, if you let that that weigh you down, you know, to the point where your conscience have condemned you, then guess what? This can lead to you falling from your hope. Because in your self-examination, you'll say, you know what, I'm not fit. You know, I'm not worthy. You know, and that have driven a lot of men away, you know, which it requires a certain level of maturity, spiritual maturity, when self-examination. Okay, the scriptures tell you to examine yourself, but it requires spiritual maturity. So if you examine yourself and you find yourself to not be perfect, well, if you don't understand that that's the will of Yahweh Shah, then guess what? You're going to fall from your hope in the Lord. See? So again, you know, if you have this idea of doing everything right and becoming perfect here in this flesh, well, once you know, face the reality that you're not going to be perfect, well, that can either cause you to fall from your hope, you know, if you don't understand that this is the will of Yahweh Shah, or once, you know, you fall, you're going to get back up if you're in the right spirit. Scriptures tell you that a just man falleth 7 times. And that proves that we're not going to accomplish the feat of being perfect here in this lifetime. See? And that's reserved for the kingdom. Matter of fact, let's get that. This is the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. And I started the 32nd verse. It says, "Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord." Yeah, because the first covenant, when the Lord, you know, brought the law, statutes, and commandments to the children of Israel by way of his servant Moses, they broke that covenant, man. We broke that covenant as a nation. And you see the results of that to this very day. That's why we're in the condition that we're in. See? Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, which is the time we're in now, and going into the kingdom. Okay? It says, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts, see, and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they should be my people. See that? And they should be my people. So the Lord is going to put the laws in our inward parts. Okay, we're going to be pretty much programmed to keep the laws, meaning we're going to be perfect. But that's going to be in the kingdom. See? And when you read on, it's going to prove it. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. See? In the kingdom, we're not going to be setting up camps. In the kingdom, we're not going to be breaking the scriptures down to our neighbor, man. Why? Because they're going to already know. See? And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. See, we're not going to have to convince you to know the Lord, which translates to knowing the scriptures, because it's going to be in their inward parts. See? For they shall all know me. This is dealing with Israel as a whole. See? For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. See, and this is going to be fulfilled in the kingdom, man. See that? Not now. And you got to understand that. See? That's a part of keeping you stable in this walk. Knowing that you're going to go off, man. Knowing that the creature was made subject to vanity. Okay? Now, with that established, you know, we are coming into, you know, the high holy days, and one of the main high holy days that we observe is the Passover. Even, you know, we acknowledge the Sabbath, you know, the new moon Sabbath. But even in that, you know, we don't perform it perfectly in relation to certain brothers. Why? Because, case in point, to keep the Sabbath, you are not to work. It's commanded not to work. Now, among certain brothers, you know, they might own their own business, or they might have an app-based job, which they can observe the Sabbath or the new moon perfectly, you see, because they don't have to work. But on the other hand, you're going to have certain brothers that have to work. See, although we observe the new moon and the Sabbath, with Esau, they don't, man. You see, Esau don't reverence the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shah, which includes observing the high holy days and the new moons and the Sabbath. So you're going to have brothers who desire to observe those days, but hey, it is what it is. You might have to work, you know. When concerning the Passover, again, the Passover, here at Great Millstone, you know, in faith, we keep the Passover. But there's certain stipulations and regulations concerning the Passover. You got to remember, the Lord is meticulous, man, and very particular, right? So there's certain do's and don'ts when concerning the Passover. For an example, you have to eat of a lamb that's 1 year of age, you know, with no blemishes. Now, we don't raise our own food. So when we perform the Sabbath services, you know, we have to go and buy the lamb from Esau, man. See? Which can have demonic spirits on it. It could have been an injured lamb, not of a year old, with blemishes. See? But we perform it in faith. And that proves right there that we can't accomplish the feat of being perfect here in this lifetime. Okay? And pretty much we're just rehearsing. You see? And with any rehearsal, you're going to have hiccups. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. In the book of Judges, the 5th chapter, in the 11th verse, it says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing waters, which is dealing with America and the destruction of America. Okay, the scriptures say they that are delivered from the noise of archers. That's symbolic to those ICBM missiles, man. See? They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the place of drawing water, which is America, which that drawing water is a metaphor for slavery. This is the place of our captivity. See? There shall they rehearse. See? There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. See that? Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel, then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Right. So the scriptures say, here, in this place of drawing waters, in the place of our captivity, we're going to rehearse the righteous acts. See? Which I have the definition of this word, rehearse, queued up, and I want to share with you.
Rehearse.
All right? It says practice. See? Practice, man. See? Practice a play, piece of music, or other work for later public performance. See? For later public performance. Meaning we practicing now, we rehearsing now for later on. So what we do now is pretty much a shadow of things to come. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Colossians, the 2nd chapter, and starting at the 6th verse, 16th verse, should I say? It says, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day. See? So let's say if you don't keep the high holy day perfect, you know, then no one should judge you for that. Why? Because we all rehearsing. See, this is all a shadow of things to come. We'll get it right in the kingdom. See? And that shows you the mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. See that? The Lord could have held us accountable, man. You know? But this is a part of those tender mercies. Not just mercy, but tender mercy, man. You could show mercy and be cruel. You know? Motherfucker might sentence you to death. You say, you know what, I'm going to have mercy on him. I'm just going to cut your hand off, man. But no, the Lord said he's going to show not only mercy, but tender mercy. See? It says, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day, see, or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, see, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Hamashiach, and the body is dealing with the elect. Meaning, if the body is of Hamashiach, you can't judge us. Why? Because there's no condemnation to those who are in Yahushua. See that? But the point is, you know, everything that we desire, you know, as being, you know, numbered amongst the hopefully elect, is to please Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? And we understand that this is going to be done by way of keeping the law. And in knowing that, you know, we can't accomplish that feat here in this lifetime, which, again, you know, the high holy days and certain feasts, you know, the Sabbaths and new moon, that's a part of the law right there, man. Okay? And when we are not able to perform it perfectly, you know, you can't let that beat you up. You can't let that weigh you down. You can't let your conscience condemn you. You got to understand that this is a shadow of things to come. Okay? This is a rehearsal, man. See? So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, Lord willing. It was edifying. Most importantly, comforting. Till the next time I say shalom.